very good evening and welcome to The World Now at Foreign Hills TV. I am Uduak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. And on the headlines, Buhari attends AU summit in Niamey. Still on the headlines, Tanzania government disowns report on fatal plane crash. Also on the headlines, EU chief Michel to head to China for Xi meeting. And on sports, UFC star tweets intention to re-enter USAID testing pool. And now the news in detail. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari traveled to Niamey, the Republic of Niger, to attend the African Union Summit, that is the AU Summit on Industrialization and Economic Diversification, as well as the extraordinary session on African Continental Free Trade Area, that is the AFCFTA. The president during the trip will also attend launch of the French version of the book, as well as inaugurate the Muhammadu Buhari Boulevard, named after him by the government of the Republic of Niger. Naming of the boulevard and launch of the book, written by John Padden, a professor of international studies at George Mason University, Northern Virginia, United States, that is the U.S., precedes the AU Summit on Friday, November 25, 2022. According to the report, Buhari is expected to deliver his national statement at the summit, which focuses on an inclusive and sustainable industrialization and economic diversification. The 20th of every November is commemorated as Africa Industrialization Day, adopted by the Assembly of the Heads of State and Government of the Organization of African Unity, that is the OAU, in July 1989 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The president is expected to return to the country tomorrow, Friday, November 25. Talking more stories on the home front, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, that is the NIDCOM, NIDCOM, has applauded Noel Alumona for winning the American Field Service, that is the AFS Award for Young Global Citizens. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of NIDCOM, Abike Dabri Arewa, gave the commendation when Alumona paid her a courtesy visit in Abuja. Dabri Arewa described Alumona as an inspiration to Nigerians in the diaspora, especially young adults. According to her, his group constantly strives to create a positive impact in Nigeria as its home country. She pointed out that Alumona is the first Nigerian and African to win the American Field Service, that is the AFS Award for Young Global Citizens, since its inception in 1914. She urged the award winner to make a difference in the lives of younger Nigerians and be part of the Nigerians in Diaspora Home String program. Responding, Alumona said he was recognized for the award because he had been given young boys the opportunity to become peace and change agents, also fighting the cause of women and the girl child. The Nigerian Navy says effective collaboration among two countries' navies could secure the maritime environment of a nation, thereby enhancing the economic prosperity of that nation. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Yakubu Wambai, made this known during a courtesy visit by the Italian ambassador to Nigeria in Apapa. He noted that the visit of the Italian Navy ship, Nave Borsini, was aimed at strengthening bilateral relations between Nigeria and Italy, as well as enhancing maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea.
Some of our ships to carry out exercises. These exercises continue to practice man and machine on the daily requirements, vehicles at sea. It's continue to put to action plans that have been conceptualized, how workable they are. That is the most I can say about the kind of exercise they will take. Now you will have seen that the scale of infractions in our waters have drastically reduced. Area we've been delisted by the International Maritime Bureau of piracy. So it means the cooperation we have, the collaboration we have, the partnership we have.
It will be recalled the Nigerian Navy has been delisted from countries with piracy issues by the International Maritime Bureau of Piracy. That means the collaboration was yielding fruits. The ambassador of Italy, Stefano De Leo, pointed out that their visit is to enhance the already partnership in cooperation to the activities of anti-piracy and improve the relationship based on two things, which is friendship and partnership.
Our already very excellent partnership in cooperation Not only what is linked to the activity of anti-piracy in the Gulf of Guinea, but also on bilateral level, and to find ways of increase and improve our relations based on two things, which is friendship and partnership. We are here as partners and we are here as friends. So whatever we can discuss together to improve our relations, our commitment to bring peace to this Gulf of Guinea, we are here to do this, and of course in cooperation with the
senior officers of both country navies were present during the visit, including the Chief Staff Officer, Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Kaoje, and the Commanding Officer, Italian Navy ship Nave Borsini, Carlo Corso, as well as the Consul General, Ugo Boni. Bringing you more stories, the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is INEC, has stated its determination to frontally tackle the issue of political party campaign spending ahead of the 2023 general elections. The nation's electoral body said areas of violation include party and candidate expenditure beyond what is provided by the law and the diabolical practice of vote buying at polling units on Elections Day. Chairman of INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, spoke at a National Stakeholders Forum on Elections organized by the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room, that is the NCSSR. They published a summary of the guidelines on finances and election expenses of parties and candidates. Yakubu said this when he received the Commonwealth pre-election assessment mission to Nigeria in Abuja yesterday. In her remarks, the convener of the NCSSR, Ene Obi, commended the elections. The leader of the Commonwealth Secretariat, Lindawe Maleleka, had also sought to know the ruling party's concerns in the build-up to the general elections. Let's quickly get on this break. When we come back, it will be News of Africa. Always a delight to have you back. This is The World Now at 4 on Hills TV. More with the stories. The Tanzanian government Thursday has distanced itself from a preliminary report on the passenger plane crash that killed 19 people after the aircraft plunged into Lake Victoria. The report, which was leaked on Tuesday, said that more lives could have been saved had rescue efforts not been delayed. But in a short statement posted on its verified website, the government spokesperson Gerson Sigwa said that the authorities have yet to officially issue a report on the 6 November Precision Air crash, adding that the report, which is circulating online, should be ignored because it did not emanate from official government and authorities. The findings came from the Air Accident Investigation Bureau, that is the AAIB, and have been widely reported by local and international media. One of the country's main opposition leaders, Zito Kabwe, who circulated the report on Tuesday, said he was ready to stand trial if the report was not genuine. On to another matter. A senior figure in the Tigray People's Liberation Front, that is the TPLF, Getachew Reda, says the rebel group is ready to address political problems in a peaceful and political manner. Getachew Reda was speaking at the TPLF, and Ethiopia's federal government are working out the implementation of a deal signed earlier this month, ending hostilities in the 2-year-long civil war. Speaking to newsmen, Getachew said that the TPLF will be willing to hand over heavy weapons and heavy armament as long as the security interests of Tigray are taken care of. The conflict has led to thousands of deaths and a humanitarian crisis in the north of the country. The Ethiopian government and representatives from the TPLF signed up to a disarmament plan and commitment to restore services to the region. The plan should allow aid to reach millions in urgent need of assistance. In August, the World Food Programme said more than 5 million people in the region faced severe hunger. Away from that story, let's take you to other parts of the world and have you know that EU Chief Charles Michel announced on Thursday he would meet President Xi Jinping in China next week as Europe seeks to confront Beijing over human rights in Taiwan while maintaining trade ties. The trip comes amid a lively debate between the European Union, that is the EU capitals, as to how to handle relations with China, aimed amid concerns over Beijing's rights record, threats to Taiwan, trade pressure on some EU countries, and support for Russia. The United States is pushing its Western allies to align themselves against China, but some EU members with important trade links resist splitting world affairs into two camps. Michel walks a line between Germany, with its important economic interest in China, and EU members like Lithuania, which has attracted Beijing's anger by building links with Taiwan. European diplomats told newsmen that China had sought to censor a video speech from Michel for the China International Import Expo, and that Brussels had preferred to pull it. EU capitals have also been concerned by China's bond with Russia, even in the wake of Moscow's invasion and bombardment of Western-backed Ukraine. Earlier this month at an ASEAN summit in Phnom Penh, just ahead of the G20 summit at which Xi met U.S. President Joe Biden, Michel urged Beijing to push Russia to respect international law. Britain and South Africa have announced a new health and science partnership to mark the second day of President Cyril Ramaphosa's state visit to London, the first such official guest hosted by Britain's King Charles. Charles, 74, had rolled out traditional pomp and ceremony to welcome Ramaphosa, hosting a banquet in his honor on Tuesday. Ramaphosa also addressed lawmakers at the House of Parliament. British Foreign Minister James Cleverly said the partnerships on areas such as vaccine manufacturing, genome sequencing, and climate change will benefit all countries. Ramaphosa also met Prime Minister Rishi Sunak later in the day, who said Britain will support genome sequencing at South Africa's National Institute for Communicable Diseases, that is the NICD, which played a key role in detecting COVID-19 variants such as Beta and Omicron in a push to improve antimicrobial resistance surveillance in Africa.
South Africa and the UK, obviously very strong partners, allies, friends, and we share so many of the same objectives, notably transitioning to clean energy whilst creating jobs and opportunity for our citizens.
South Africa is Britain's biggest trading partner in Africa. Keele Gardens, a botanical garden in West London, will also work with South Africa's National Biodiversity Institute on preserving South Africa's plant diversity. And now let's have you know secondary and primary schools in Scotland have embarked on a one-day walkout on Thursday following the rejection of their new pay demands. The protest will have all members of the Educational Institute of Scotland, that is the EIS, in action as they reiterated their demand for a 10% pay rise. According to reports, the industrial action will be Scotland's first national school strike since the 1980s. Nursery schools are also affected. While speaking, Education Secretary Shirley Ann Somerville said the teachers' demands for a 10% pay rise were unaffordable. And now let's quickly take you. The scarcity of the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, has continued to spread across many states, resurfacing in Abuja after disappearing briefly. Reports showed that it grew worse in Lagos, Ogun, Ekiti, amongst others. Oil marketers blamed this on 163% hike in the cost of renting daughter vessels to move products from mother vessels, stressing that this had reduced the purchasing power of many dealers. They also attributed a scarcity to a drop in PMS supply in the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, that is the NNPC Limited, the inability to access foreign exchange at the official rate, and the continued subsidy on PMS, amongst others. Correspondents reported on Wednesday the long queue surfaced in Lagos on Tuesday as motorists spent hours at filling stations in their bid to purchase PMS. Commenting on this, the National Public Relations Officer, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, that is the IPMA, and Ipman Ukadike Chinedu, said the situation was due to various factors. He said the rates to charter daughter vessels to move products from the mother vessel to the PDOs has jumped within months due to issues around the hike in diesel cost, foreign exchange concerns, and other industry problems. More stories this time. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, that is the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, says the introduction of the redesigned Naira notes, the bank will now ensure full implementation of cashless economic system across the country. Emefiele stated this when he fielded questions from the State House correspondent soon after President Muhammadu Buhari presented the new banknotes to the public on Wednesday. President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier on Wednesday inaugurated the new Naira notes of 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira, expressing delight that the redesigned currencies were locally produced by the Nigerian Printing and Minting PLC, that is the NSPM. The CBN governor, however, explained that with the redesign of the Naira notes, the apex derogation from relevant security or anti-corruption agencies. According to him, many countries, especially the advanced ones, have since adopted cashless system, and Nigeria must not be left behind. MFELA also dismissed the assertion that the redesigning of the Naira notes was targeted at rationing electricity due to a drop in hydroelectric output after a severe drought. The National Power Company said Wednesday, November 24, with some areas facing 9-hour blackouts. The East African country, that is the EAC, can produce nearly 1,695 megawatts. Of Shande, the National Power Company, the site of Kiansey, for example, in the region of Morogoro, southeast, has seen its production capacity fall from 180 megawatts to only 17 megawatts. Tanzania has been trying to increase its hydroelectricity production in recent years, thanks in particular to the construction of the controversial Julius Nyerere Dam in the Selous Reserve, which was supposed to produce around 2,100 megawatts. Like its neighbors, the country has experienced low rainfall and a delayed rainy season, forcing authorities to impose water rationing in Dar es Salaam last month. And now let's quickly jump into sports, but that will be after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is Sports News Desk on the World Now at 4, and I, Uduak Daniel, will be taking it today. Ogwanda White has been appointed as the head coach of Confluence Queens on Wednesday in succession to Lady Bashiru. White will be taking charge of a local Jabe side for the second time, having had a stint with the team in the past. The former Ibom Angels tactician has signed a contract that will link him with immediate effect until the end of the Nigerian Women's Premier League season. A number of names were linked with the job, but the management of the club, led by Honorable Abdul Malik Issa, adopted and opted for the ex-cat Gayfer. The highly rated White earned his spurs while at Ibom Angels. He is known to be as dedicated and highly driven coach. He has established a reputation for tactical acumen and his ability to rebuild teams. Ogwanda White is expected to bring his experience to the table for the ambitious team during the 2022-2023 season. He has also been on the books of Rivers Angels and Royal Queens in the past. Still talking sports, Conor McGregor has tweeted he plans to re-enter the United States, that is the U.S. anti-doping agencies, that is the USADA testing pool, in preparation for a fight. UFC President Dana White confirmed last month Ireland's McGregor, 34, is currently removed from the pool. Under USADA's rules, UFC fighters must be subject to testing for 6 months and pass a minimum of 2 tests before they can compete. McGregor suggested on Twitter he would re-enter the pool in February. If he were to do so, he would potentially be able to fight in the UFC. From August 2023, former 2-division champion McGregor has not fought since breaking his leg in a loss to Dustin Poirier last July. Questions were raised about McGregor's active status when it was revealed he had to yet be tested by USADA this year. USADA has said and stated previously that all the UFC athletes are subject to testing unless they retire, have their contracts terminated, or are removed from the pool. It is unclear why he has been removed from the testing pool, and the UFC did not provide comment when asked by reporters. A number of athletes have stated their desire to fight McGregor if he returns, including Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje. Northampton's Tommy Freeman takes Jack Noel's place on the wing in one of 4 changes for England's match against South Africa on Saturday. Freeman, who impressed on the summer tour of Australia, only recently made his club comeback from a foot injury. Elsewhere, Ellis Jeng and Luke Cowan-Dickey have dropped to the bench, with Marco Vinopola and hooker Jamie George coming into the starting lineup. Alex Coles replaces Sam Simmons and flanker to add a third-line out junks. The changes seem designed to counter some of the vulnerabilities New Zealand exposed for some of the match last weekend, before England stormed back to claim a 25-25 draw in the final 10 minutes. Noel, who failed to make any ground with the ball in hand, was targeted with crossfield kicks as he lined up against the taller Caleb Clark. Freeman, who stands 6 feet 2 inches, is equally at home and full back as a wing. England's pack came under heavy pressure at the scrum, with Gang struggling to contain opposition number Tyrell Lomax. We're still bringing sport to you, but then we'll just very quickly call it a close for the World Now at 4. But before we go, a quick look at our top stories. Listening and watching the World Now at 4, bringing you the headlines as we know it. Let's have you know that Buhari attends AU Summit in Nairobi. Remember to visit us and follow us across social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube channel, all at Hills TV. I am Uduak Daniel Ching.